Most people think age 62 just means you're close to retirement, but in reality, it can make or break your entire plan. This is the age where your decisions start to carry serious financial weight. Social Security, Medicare planning, and retirement account withdrawals all start coming into focus. And the wrong move can cost you tens of thousands of dollars over time. If you're approaching 62 or already there, you're standing at a major financial turning point, one that can shape the rest of your retirement. Most people don't realize how much changes at this age. Social Security becomes an option. You can start accessing retirement accounts, and healthcare decisions start coming into play. But the biggest risk? Making the wrong decision simply because you didn't have the right information. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through what actually happens when you hit age 62 and how to avoid the biggest mistakes that can derail your entire retirement plan. If you find this kind of breakdown helpful, go ahead and hit the like button and be sure to subscribe to the channel. I post weekly insights to help people retire with confidence, not confusion. Hey, it's Mark Wisniewski, president of Southern Incomes. Every day, I help people retire with more income and less tax and more peace of mind. And hitting 62 is one of the most critical turning points. Whether you're planning to retire now, later, or just figuring out your options, understanding what happens at 62 is essential to avoiding costly mistakes. Let's walk through the key changes you need to know and what smart retirees do differently at this stage. Step 1. You're eligible for Social Security, but should you take it? You officially have the right to start claiming your Social Security benefits. And for a lot of people, that feels like winning the lottery. You've worked your entire life paying into the system, and why not start getting that money as soon as possible? But just because you can claim at 62 doesn't mean you should. In fact, for most people, claiming Social Security early could permanently reduce your benefits up to 30%. And once you lock it in, you can't change it later unless you act within a very short window. Here's what happens behind the scenes. The government has set a full retirement age, or FRA. For most people today, that's somewhere between age 66 and 67, depending on your birth year. If you claim your benefits before full retirement age, your monthly check is permanently reduced to account for those extra years that you'll be receiving benefits. For every year you claim early, your check shrinks by about 6 to 7%. And here's the kicker. If you wait until after your full retirement age, that's up to age 70, you can actually earn delayed retirement credits. That's your monthly check can grow by about 8% per year if you wait past FRA. Think about it. No investment, no stock market bet, no annuity offers you a guaranteed 8% increase just for waiting. So if you're in reasonably good health, planning to live well into your 80s or 90s, and let's face it, with today's medicine, many of us will, claiming early could cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. That's why I always tell my clients, Social Security isn't just about starting as soon as possible. It's about maximizing your total lifetime benefit and fitting it into a smart, coordinated retirement income plan. The bottom line, at age 62, claiming Social Security sounds tempting, but before you rush to start collecting, you need to run the numbers, consider your health, your family longevity, your income needs, and most importantly, your tax strategy. Otherwise, you could accidentally lock yourself into smaller checks for the rest of your life. Step 2, you can access retirement savings without that 10% early withdrawal penalty most of the time. For most people, age 59 and a half is when you can begin tapping into your retirement account, for instance, your IRA or 401ks, without triggering that 10% early withdrawal penalty. But realistically, at 62, that's when a lot of people actually start dipping into their savings, because by that time they're either reducing work hours or fully retired, or they simply need supplemental income. Now, here's what's important to understand. Just because the IRS no longer penalizes you for taking distributions, it doesn't mean those withdrawals come tax-free. Every dollar you pull from a traditional IRA or 401k is counted as ordinary income. That means it gets stacked on top of your Social Security, pension, and any other income that you're receiving. And if you're not careful, those withdrawals can push you into a higher tax bracket, cause more of your Social Security to be taxed, and get this, even increase your Medicare premiums down the road. Let me say that again because it's so critical. At 62, your withdrawals are penalty-free, but they're not tax-free. This is a stage in life where distribution planning matters just as much as investment growth. It's not about how much you have in retirement, it's about how much you keep after those taxes. So you've likely spent 30 plus years building your nest egg. Now, the job is different. You're no longer accumulating, you're distributing. And the sequence in which you pull funds from different accounts, traditional IRAs, Roth IRAs, brokerage accounts, can make a massive difference in your lifetime tax liability. So, for example, should you tap your 401k first or wait until required minimum distributions at age 73? Should you use your brokerage account first to give your IRA more time to grow? Could a Roth conversion strategy in your early 60s reduce future taxes and help you avoid those big RMDs later on? These are questions I walk my clients through every single day. At 62, you now have the flexibility to start withdrawing retirement savings without a penalty, but that freedom can backfire if you don't have a clear withdrawal strategy. And without a plan, you could be overpaying in taxes, reducing your Social Security benefit, and even increasing your healthcare costs. Now more than ever, it's time to start thinking in terms of after-tax income, not just account balances. Step 3, you don't qualify for Medicare yet, and healthcare can get expensive real fast. Here's one of the biggest shocks for people turning 62. You're not eligible for Medicare until you turn 65. And that creates what I call the healthcare gap. Those 3 years where you're no likely longer on an employer plan, but you're still too young to qualify for Medicare. And during those years, your out-of-pocket healthcare costs can skyrocket if you're not prepared. Let's break this down. If you retire at 62 and lose access to an employer-sponsored health insurance plan, your primary options are, number 1, a COBRA plan from your former employer, which can be expensive. The health insurance marketplace, also known as Obamacare, a spouse's plan if they're working and they have access, or in some rare cases, a private plan. Here's what most people don't realize. The average monthly premium for a 62-year-old on the open market can easily be $800 to $1,200 a month. And that's before you factor in deductibles, co-pays, and prescription coverages. So for a couple, you're potentially looking at $20,000 up to $30,000 per year in health-related costs until you hit 65. Now you might be thinking, well, that's just the cost of retiring early. And while that's partly true, there's a smarter way to plan ahead for this expense. Here's what I help my clients do. Number 1, create a 3-year healthcare bridge in the retirement plan. So that means we earmark certain funds, usually from brokerage accounts or after-tax savings, specifically to cover that gap year or those gap years from 62 to 65. Also, optimize your income to qualify for healthcare subsidies. Did you know your premiums on healthcare exchanges are based on your modified adjusted growth income, or MAGI? So, if we can strategically manage how much of your taxable income actually shows during those gap years, for example, by using a mix of Roth withdrawals and brokerage funds, you may qualify for subsidies that can dramatically lower your premiums. Avoid hidden tax traps. If you're pulling too much from pre-tax retirement accounts during these years, you may unknowingly increase your taxable income and disqualify yourself from healthcare credits, meaning that you're paying more than necessary necessary for insurance. So yes, healthcare is a big unknown at 62, but with the proper planning, it doesn't have to be a deal breaker. If anything, it's a reason to get serious about building a tax-efficient withdrawal strategy and protecting your retirement income plan from unnecessary healthcare costs. Healthcare between 62 and 65 can be your biggest wild card if you're not prepared. But with the right plan, it's a challenge you can absolutely manage. Step 4. If you work after claiming Social Security at 62, you could lose thousands in benefits. This is one of the most misunderstood and potentially costly mistakes I see people make at age 62. They think, well, I could start taking Social Security now and keep working. The best of both worlds, right? Double dipping. Not quite. Here's the catch. If you take Social Security before your full retirement age, which for most people is between 66 and 67, and you continue to earn wages from work, you could temporarily forfeit part of your Social Security benefit. This is called the earnings limit rule, and it surprises a lot of people. Here's how it works in 2025. If you start claiming at age 62 and continue to work, you can earn up to $22,320 for the year. For every $2 you earn above that, $1 of your Social Security is withheld. Let me give you a real-life example. Let's say that you claim Social Security at 62 and you go back to work part-time earning $42,320 for the year. That's $20,000 over that limit. So Social Security will withhold $10,000 from your benefit for that year. That's not a tax. And that money isn't gone forever. You could get it back later in life in the form of adjusted monthly credits on your checks after you hit that full retirement age. But in the short term, you're giving up cash flow that you may be relying on. And here's the emotional part of this. Most retirees I talk to at 62 don't even know about this. They start their Social Security thinking that they finally tapped into what they've earned, only to find out that it's getting withheld because they picked up some consulting work or a part-time job at the golf course. So, what's the takeaway? If you plan to work past 62, even part-time, you should seriously consider delaying your Social Security benefits until at least your full retirement age. If you absolutely need that income and can't wait to claim, be very strategic about how much you earn, or structure your earnings in a way that doesn't trigger penalties. For example, through business income or rental property income that isn't considered earned income under SSA rules. Taking Social Security at 62 may feel like a win in the moment, but you're still earning income, and it's cost you thousands that will be withheld in benefits. That's why every retirement plan I build for clients includes a customized Social Security strategy based on their full financial picture, not just the birth date. Turning 62 is more important than just another birthday. It's a financial crossroads. You're eligible to tap into some of the most powerful tools in retirement: Social Security, early access to retirement accounts, and greater flexibility in how you structure your income. But with those new options comes greater responsibility and potential consequences if you don't plan correctly. Whether it's choosing when to take Social Security, navigating that healthcare gap before Medicare, or avoiding surprise taxes on early withdrawals, or even simply knowing when to stop working and start enjoying what you've built. The decisions that you make at 62 will echo throughout your entire retirement. This is the perfect time to pause and get real clarity on your next steps, not just for this year, but for the next 30. Ready to retire with clarity, not guesswork? Click the link in the description to book a free retirement strategy call with me and my team. We'll look at your numbers, your timeline, and build a plan designed to help you retire confidently with no financial surprises down the road.